Sean here in the Empty Pocket Speed Shop. I wanted to take a minute to introduce myself, talk a little bit about the shop, and talk about what we're going to be doing here in our shop moving forward. If you've been a subscriber in the past, you know that all I've ever posted on my YouTube channel is some drag racing videos and a couple of burnout videos. But I had an idea that I wanted to start doing some build videos of the cars that I own, the stuff that I'm working on here in my shop. So I wanted to share with you folks, whoever might be watching and whoever might be watching in the future, if they watch this introduction video, of why I wanted to do this. I'm a regular guy. I have a full-time job. I do cars as a hobby. It's a passion of mine. I love old cars. I like working on old cars. I love driving old cars. So I spend a lot of time out here anyway. I wanted to be able to do this to share with my kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids down the road of things that I do to the vehicles that I have, especially the ones that we're going to pass down from generation to generation. So out here in my shop, sometimes we don't have all the money that we need to make things work. That's actually how my son and I, through just joking back and forth, came up with the idea of calling our shop the Empty Pocket Speed Shop. Way back when we were first started working on cars together, we would kid each other about what we wanted to do to our car next, and it's a line from a movie, you know. It's that, well, you know, these pockets is empty, cuz, so I ain't got no money right now, and so we would joke about it. So when we started actually putting this shop together and started putting cars together we could take to the drag strip and play with, we just started calling it the Empty Pocket Speed Shop. And you know, I put that on my car and he put it on his car, and we had a good time with it and we laughed and joked about it. But when it comes right down to it, it actually is the truth a lot of the times, because you'll see as we go through working on some of these cars that I don't always have the money to buy every part new. I don't always have the money to buy all of the correct parts. So what I've had to learn to do through working on my own cars, building cars for the last however many years I've been doing it, is sometimes you just have to find something and make it work. So with that in mind, if you're watching my channel and you're watching some of my videos, I'm hoping that some of what I can do will be informative. I have been a mechanic for a living in the past. That's not what I do now. I have a different job for my daily job that I make my living at. But in the automotive world, I've been working on cars and trucks since I was about 15 years old. So hopefully through some of my videos, they will be informative. Maybe somebody will learn how to do something a little bit cheaper than what it would take to do it if you had to buy all brand new parts, because sometimes we make our own parts. Sometimes we take old parts and repurpose them for something. So as we go through some of this stuff, you'll see that that's the way we build our cars. But at the end of the day, what we want is a hot rod that serves the purpose that we want it to serve. And for me, that's enjoying driving the car. So on my channel, we're not going to do restoration cars where we fix everything exactly perfect and all the paint jobs are perfect and all the body work is perfect and all the gaps around the doors are perfect. That's not the kind of cars I build. I build cars that I can enjoy driving. So as we go through the build on this truck behind me, and as we go through the builds on some of the other cars that are already in the shop, some of the cars that you saw in the intro video, my old 72 Monte Carlo that's painted up like the Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift Monte Carlo, and then I have the white Monte Carlo that I also take to the track some. We've got the old black Camaro that we call Slow Motion. So as you see us working on those, you'll see that we don't really concern ourselves with making everything look like a show car, but we want to get them running and driving so we can have a good time with them. And I wouldn't want my cars to be so nice that I'm afraid to drive it to town, because I'm afraid a rock's going to fly up off the road and knock a chip in the paint. Because most of the stuff I have already has a chip in the paint, so I really don't have to worry about it. Now, it's not to say that I don't care how they look, but sometimes I'm going for a look that other people may not understand right off. So as we move forward and as we work on these cars, I'm hoping that they'll be informative. I'm hoping that they'll be entertaining. Some of what I really want to focus on is just letting you guys that are out there watching this, whether it's one of you or 100 of you watching this, you'll get to know me a little bit, get to know my shop a little bit. get to know my cars a little bit, you'll see that we take our cars and we go to the drag strip and we play with them. We do a little bit of bracket racing here and there, but we also take cars and we just cruise around on a Sunday afternoon. And we do all of that stuff and do everything in between. I've got some hot rods, and to me, so I probably need to expound on that just a little bit. What a hot rod is to me is just exactly what I just described. You take a car, you build it with what you have. Your purpose behind the car may not be to make it go as fast as it'll go. I do have cars that I'm trying to make fast, and I've got a couple of cars that are okay, but I also have cars that we just cruise around in. So we've got a couple of cars over in the garage that we like having working air conditioner, and we want them to just be able to start. So they have functioning chokes on the carburetors, and they have regular street tires on them, and normal shocks and springs so that they don't beat you to death when you're driving them down the road. So those are the kind of things. We go from one extreme to the other around here, where it's a 305 two-barrel car that takes it 14 seconds to run an eighth of a mile, all the way up to War Machine that runs down in the seventh and eighth of a mile. So a little bit of everything in between. This old Studebaker truck behind me is going to be a cruiser. It's just got a 305 in it. And in my next video, I will do a walk around and I will talk about everything that we've already done to the truck and the things that we plan to do to the truck to try to get it running. So I'll try to do some quality videos, try to make something that's entertaining for you guys to watch. So just stay tuned. And if you enjoy what you're seeing out of my channel, then share it. Hit the subscribe button. If you're not already a subscriber, and there's not very many of you that are already subscribers before I put this video out there, but if you're already a subscriber, then tell other people about it. If you're just now watching this and you're just now learning of my channel, then hit that subscribe button. And I will tell you up front, I'm doing this so that I can leave something for my kids, grandkids, and great-grandkids and future generations of my family to go back and be able to watch and see Pops working on his old cars and having a good time with it, and maybe spark some enthusiasm for the next generation of hot rodders. So as I move forward in these videos, follow along if you're enjoying it. Hopefully you will, and I do promise I will try to get better as we go. I'll try to make it more entertaining as we go. I will try to make it as informative as I can as we go, explaining how I do things. And you may see something that I'm doing that you think, man, there's no way I would do it that way. Well, I do things the way I do things, and usually it works. Sometimes it doesn't, and I have to back up and punt a little bit, but that's how we learn, right? We learn by making mistakes, and I've been working on cars since I was 15 years old. When I was a young man, I did a little bit of dirt track racing. I got out of that, and I just started building cruisers, and then a few years ago, we started building some hot rods to take to the drag strip and do a little bit of bracket racing, so I've done a little bit of it all. I've built dirt track cars from a bare frame all the way up to a running dirt track car, just like I have taken this 72 Monte Carlo that I call War Machine, has been completely gutted, and I put a cage in it, and I've done all the suspension, and I've done all that work to it. So now that I'm starting to do some video series on these cars, I will explain what I've done to them so far, and then we'll have some videos out there of what we're doing next and why we're doing it and how we're doing it and the parts that's required, the tools that are required, and maybe you guys can learn something, or maybe you'll just be entertained. But either which way we go with it, I hope you guys watch. I hope you tune in, and I'll be continuing on. Hopefully I can get a video out there every week or so. That's my goal, is to put something out every week or every 2 weeks at the most. But just guys, just keep in mind, I have a full-time job just like you guys do. I have other obligations just like you guys do. So working on cars is my hobby, not my living. So I'll do what I can to make things, to keep new content out there and make it interesting enough for you guys to watch. I appreciate you for tuning in for my introduction video. And all I ask is that if you think it's something that you might enjoy, make sure you subscribe and tell your buddies about it. If you got any buddies that enjoy watching YouTube videos about car restoration and car repair and just getting old cars running and going out on the street and maybe doing a burnout every now and then, just let them know to follow Empty Pocket Speed Shop, and we will move forward with the channel. Thank you, and see you on the next video. So, hey y'all, Sean here, Empty Pocket Speed Shop, that you would want to tell your friends about it. Hey y'all, it's Sean here in the Empty Pocket Speed Shop. I've got some news that is going to be exciting for me. May or may not be exciting for you. We don't call this thing the Empty Pocket Speed Shop for nothing. I usually don't have enough money to buy all the parts that I want to buy. So a lot of times we're just working on making whatever work that we have laying around. As I'm out here working on these cars, I hope to be able to add a little bit of humor, take things a little bit lighter. I want people to be able to watch what I'm doing on the cars and enjoy it.